Hello fellow problem solvers. So today I'm going to be talking about the thing you need to do when you're doing exams in your internal game. So now without further ado, let's begin. The thing I really want you to think about when you're doing exams is if you feel like you're not focusing on the exam that you're doing, the problem sets, but you're actually focused on what other people may think of you if you fail or don't accomplish the exams, or you're feeling stressed out during the exams, palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti. And if you feel like that, this sort of mental model can help you out. And the mental model really is that you need to think about what it is you're focusing on and try to control your focus. And realize this. We have some goal. Like you have a goal, you want to do well in the exam. And once you have the goal, you pick sort of. You don't really pick. Sometimes you can pick what you're going to be focusing on so that you achieve that goal. And then depending on what it is you're focusing on, that may lead you to take different sorts of actions, and you may get different responses from your body depending on what it is you're deciding to focus on. For example, your goal at the exam is, I want to do the exam well. I want to solve as many other problems as possible. But if in the back of your mind you're thinking, oh no, what will people think of me if I fail? Then what may end up happening is you may end up thinking about, okay, but I can really just tell people I've done this because I failed, because it wasn't my day. This problem doesn't really fit. Like, how can I solve this problem? And then you can start focusing on how you will sort of have a good reputation or like from other people may think of you during the exam, which is not what you want. You want to be focusing on how you can actually solve problems. You want to think about, hey, I am trying to do my best and let me just try to work with the problem. So that is the big mental model, is when you're doing the exam, decide for yourself, my goal is to do my best here. And to do my best, I need to focus on the problem at hand. And I need to almost have like a playful focus with the problem. You problem, I'm gonna solve you. How am I what are you doing to me? What's your secret? What is the key that unlocks your solution? That sort of playful attitude and focusing on the problem as opposed to what other people may think of you is the thing that helps. And what can also help you here is knowing deep down a couple of things. One thing is, it's more useful for you to focus on the problem as opposed to what people may think of you. Then another thing that you may want to also consider is that other people generally, there's not a lot of opinions other people will have of you, and you want to ask yourself, how much will this really affect me? Like right now, I'm making these videos. Like some people may totally think I am doing something that's pointless, whatever, but how much does that really affect me? Like at the end of the day, my focus here is on working on some skills. I might be helping a couple of you in some little way, shape, or form. And hey, that feels good, that's enough. If somebody thinks badly of me, to hell with it. But the main thing here is with exams, people will maybe judge me, maybe they won't. But the best thing I can do is I can just do my best and focus on the problem at hand. And this also applies not just to exams, but also to if you're in a group that's practicing competitive mathematics and you're a teacher in class. This is also focus that helps you learn more. Because, for example, what I did when I was competing, I would be the kid that asked a bunch of questions, and I would say the stupidest things. When I was training, there were like 10, 15 people in the class, all competitive mathematicians, and we were, say, working on a problem. And our trainer would ask our coach would ask us, what should we do here? Say it's a geometry problem. At the beginning, I remember I was not good at geometry, and he would ask, okay, what should we do here? And I would just say, hey, why don't we add a point that's meaningless? Well, I did not even know what I was saying. I just came up with many approaches that were stupid. And at times the coach would even react like in the sense of, I cannot believe what you just did. Like almost like a face palm. Oh my God. I can't believe you said something so stupid. And because my focus was on not how I'm being perceived by this coach, but rather, or how I'm being perceived by others, that wasn't my focus. My focus was rather on how much am I learning? Can I learn? I was focused not only on the learning, but more so, how can we solve this problem? Like that's where my focus is. We have this problem. How can we solve it? Boom. And when you have that focus, I, for one, was okay. I wasn't necessarily the best in that competitive group, but I ended up being one of the best in my generation. I think a large part of it is because of this focus, this shift. Instead of focusing on, what will happen, the consequences of doing good or bad, it was as simple as, hey, I'm just doing my best and I'm doing this because I'm interested in the problem as opposed to the consequences of solving the problem or not solving the problem. And that's the big sort of little tip, mental model, advice, a way of thinking that can help you when you're at an exam, at a practice exam or a real exam, or you are being trained, being prepared, preparing for the math competitions on whatever level. This sort of, and I think it applies in other areas of life as well, that you just realize that the focus isn't on, oh no, will I look smart or stupid? I don't care how I look. I care about one, solving the problem, and two, about the learning. And if you want to have some sort of sense of, but I might like maybe talking too much, that is a thing that the coach or the professor or somebody else, like in this classroom setting, is meant to control. Like I know that in some of my classes, I do talk too much, but then the professor says, okay, you always need to raise your hand, and the professor will say, okay, let's have somebody who hasn't spoken in a while talk. So usually the professor, the coach, the teacher, whatever, they are the ones that are meant to modulate who will speak when and how much. So that is not your concern, that is somebody else's concern. Somebody else needs to make sure that everybody in the choir has a voice. And with this advice, I think it could be useful to you in helping you with your competitive mathematics, but also just like learning in general. Focus on the problem, not what people may think of you. And if you are worried about what people may think of you, try to constrain it and try to see, hey, what are the legitimate, sort of like realistic, negative and positive consequences? But also try to see that the more that you focus on the problem at hand, the better you'll do it. At the end of the day, that's what it is. The less you think about what others may think of you, ironically, they might think of you better, even though that might not be necessary, but they might think of you better then. I think that is sort of a good heuristic to have. And as always, thanks for problem solving.